Now at 9, it's our annual Feed the Four States Telethon, an opportunity for you to make a direct impact right here in the four states. Plus, how a Joplin-based organization is partnering with KOAM to combat hunger in the four states. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. It is our Feed the Four States Telethon. The phone bank, as you can see, is set up right now in our studio where we're ready to take your calls. You just phone in a monetary pledge of any amount, and 100% of that money will going to be divided among local food pantries to help people in need this Christmas season. All right, the number to call is 1-888-620-4869. 1-888-620-4869. We're going to tell you more about the Feed the Four States project here in a bit. First, though, a look at some of today's news. As of today, it's lawful for adults to possess and use marijuana in Missouri. And that doesn't mean you can legally buy it, though, or use it everywhere. KOAM Sagoon Wendelli spoke to some local dispensaries, and Sagoon has more on this story.
Medical marijuana has been legal in Missouri since 2018, but voters went a step forward this November by approving a constitutional amendment legalizing the drug for anyone 21 and older.
Today is technically the first day that recreational cannabis sales, or the recreational cannabis in general, is legal.
The new law makes Missouri the 21st state to allow recreational use. However, the changes come with some confusion.
It's going to take a couple of months to kind of get everything in order for all of the dispensaries in order to be able to sell it. So today is when that process can start. Now we can all start the process of getting ready to be able to sell adult use cannabis.
Murphy tells me how his company is preparing to sell recreationally.
A lot of things. The biggest thing that we as a company are doing is we're building 2 new dispensaries. One in Carthage here and then one in Lebanon, so we're not moving the cities that we're going to be in. We're just building a lot bigger dispensaries so we can have more room and we can handle more customers and patients that are coming through.
Although some concerns have been raised about cannabis impairment, a CBD shop owner says there is nothing to worry about.
Some concerns are raised about use equaling impairment. Use does not always equal impairment. I know that some of the cannabis naive persons may go out and try cannabis for the first time with this amendment passing, but most people who have wanted to use cannabis have already experimented with it. And the good thing about cannabis use is that people who use cannabis habitually underestimate their ability to drive or function without impairment, so they're actually too paranoid usually to drive.
Reporting in Web City, Shagun Bamdele, KOAM News.
Dispensaries in Missouri are expected to see lots of out-of-state buyers. Missouri is bordered by 8 states, only one of which, Illinois, allows recreational marijuana sales. Joplin police are investigating a deadly pedestrian versus vehicle crash happened along Missouri 171 near Swede Lane. Authorities say 22-year-old Cheyenne Funk of Joplin was hit while trying to cross the highway. Funk was declared dead at the scene. Investigators say the driver of the involved vehicle was not impaired or arrested. Meteorologist Doug Hedges joining us now. First look at the forecast. That is some stubborn fog out there.
Yeah, the fog's actually pretty thick, and it's going to be sticking around as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Of course, we had rain last night into the morning, and then more showers have been picking up over the past couple hours. 59 was our high, so it was warmer today. We started at 47, normal highs 50 degrees. In fact, we're still sitting mid to upper 50s across the region, but we do have that fog. It's not everywhere. Kansas, it's pretty clear, and then you have this strip along the I-44 corridor and up into southwestern Missouri. So if you are going to be out tonight, be careful because the fog will be thick in spots. You can see some light showers that have popped up on the Missouri side. These are very light. These are going to sweep right on through, and then they're going to be out of here. We're actually clear out tonight, a little bit colder. We'll drop back near 40. But we have more rain in the forecast moving in this time tomorrow evening. We're going to talk about that here in just a bit.
Doug, thank you as always. Crosslines Ministry in Joplin teams up with Feed the Four States to help those in need this holiday season. KOAM's Carrie Worthen stops by and talks with Crosslines.
I don't see canned goods. I see people's lives. Just like you, if you came in, I see you getting a can of green beans, which we think it's not very much, but if you're hungry, green beans is a lot.
Rodney Rambo is executive director of Crosslines, and he says there has been a decrease in both financial and physical donations this year.
A lot of people who would typically be generous aren't able to be as generous due to struggling with inflation. Also, folks really responded so strongly in the aftermath of COVID with being generous that we've seen a little bit of a dip since then, and unfortunately the need is still really high.
Rodney says Crosslines feeds about 2,000 people a month and cannot do it without the help of donations.
A lot of people are super thankful and blessed that we're able to help them. A lot of them are low income, don't have a lot of job security, and so they need help with just being able to get food on the table for them and their kids.
And we have people on every other Thursday come in, and they said they couldn't get by without the pantries itself.
Lots of four-state families say they depend on Crosslines Pantry, and the pantry depends on you and your generosity in the season of giving. In Joplin, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
The Crosslines helps families with food, of course, but during the holiday season, they have toys as well. Every monetary donation you make tonight, big or small, makes an enormous impact because it helps prevent hunger. 100% of the donations go to buy the food for local food pantries, places like Crosslines and Wesley House. You can call 1-888-620-4869 to make that donation. You can also make a monetary donation online at komnewsnow.com/feed. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Lonnie Matthews served the U.S. Army, native of Neosho, Missouri. Matthews was stationed in Vietnam. We are proud to thank and salute Lonnie Matthews as tonight's four-state hero. Coming up, you're going to hear more about how the past few years in particular have been challenging for families and individuals in need of food. Joining me now is Rodney Rambo, Executive Director of Crosslines Churches in Joplin. We just saw Rodney a few minutes ago in that story that Carrie Worthington put together. But, you know, Rodney, you can never talk too much about a need that's affecting so many people here in the four states. And I imagine even more so this year, huh?
Absolutely. This has been an incredibly challenging year with inflation, the high rising cost of goods just across the board. A lot of families finding themselves in need of coming to a place like Crosslines for the first time.
You mentioned there's psychology involved with donation. You raised some good points. You know, with COVID, people were so generous, COVID and so forth. But now, you know, the wallets have gotten thinner.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think we've seen a little bit of donor fatigue, but at the same time, a lot of the people who are very generous to places like Crosslines are just normal working people, and they felt the strain this year just as much as those who are coming through the door. So it's been a difficult year, both in terms of need and what's coming in. For people who are saying, you know, I really don't have that much to give. Yeah.
Again, say every little bit helps. I don't know if you have an example. I've heard the example of $1 can make so much of a difference.
It can make a huge difference. For us, we have unique buying power because we buy in such bulk. So when you donate $1 to Crosslines, that's the equivalent of you taking $5 to the store. We can stretch that 5 times farther than you can because of your buying in bulk and the unique partnerships we have. So your $1 donation, that little faithful donation, goes a long way.
And these people too, you mentioned how it's not easy for them to always come to a food pantry, isn't it? A lot of times they may feel embarrassed, huh?
No, absolutely, yeah. But the truth is that we serve people, over 80% of the people that come into Crosslines, of nearly 2,000 people a month, are folks that are working. They're employed in some capacity, probably not that much different than the person sitting here watching this. They've just found themselves in a crisis that really any of us could be in. So, Crosslines is a place that serves folks that are working really hard and just need that extra hand up at that time of need.
Teamwork. You can and you do go out as an individual organization asking for funds to help with food and so forth. But how much does a team working with Fox 14 and KOAM and us working with you, how much teamwork does that mean?
Crosslines exists because of teamwork. We just celebrated 40 years, and Crosslines was started because a group of local churches decided to partner together 40 years ago. And since then, with community partners and the continued support of the faith community, we exist only because of teamwork. That is the definition of what Crosslines is. It's where the lines cross, and we meet the needs of those in our community.
Rodney, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We
We appreciate it.
Hey, still plenty of time to call us and make a monetary donation to feed the four states. The number, you see it right there, is 1-888-620-4869. 100% of the donations go to buy the food for local food pantries. You can also make a monetary donation online over at koamnewsnow.com/feed. Doug is next with completely the forecast, and a bit later, a WNBA superstar released from Russia months after being arrested.
Well, of course, another dreary day for us today. We had the showers, even a few thunder showers last night into the morning hours. A little bit of a break. More showers have rolled in over the past few hours, and we're going to see these sticking around at least the next couple hours. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri, but you can see the ground is a little wet. Make sure you call in right now. Fox 14, Feed the Four States. We still have this going on, helping other families who are in need as we get into the holiday season. All right, rain stats. We picked up a decent amount, 4/10 of an inch last night into the morning for the year. We're sitting, or for the month, a little over a half an inch for the year, over 41 inches, but we're still behind. We're still in a drought across the region, but we are putting some dents into it. Temps, fairly warm, low to mid to upper 50s from north to south, but we do have the fog. It's fairly thick, southwestern Missouri, right along the I-44 corridor into northeastern Oklahoma. If you are going to be out tonight, be careful of the fog. Also, some of the roads are wet with some showers rolling through. Here's 7th and range line sitting at 57. Westerly winds kind of picking up a bit. Humidity is at 93%. Through the night, we actually start to clear out. We drop near 40. We get morning sunshine, but then the clouds roll right back in during the afternoon. All right, look at the showers that have popped up on the Missouri side. These are light, really from Stockton, Greenfield. We got one just to the east of Carthage, down toward Neosho, another little cluster over toward Mount Vernon. Very light. These are going to push right on out over the next couple hours. So we'll get rid of this wave, but right behind it, here's our next storm system, which rolls in as we go into Friday, and then one right behind that that's going to hit us as we go into early next week. Let's go through time. We clear out. We actually start the day with the sun, that big round yellow thing in the sky that we haven't seen forever. It just doesn't last long. Clouds roll right back in. By the noon hour, temperatures near 50. I think most of us will go into lower 50s. By mid-evening, so we're talking 8, 9, 10 p.m., showers move right back in. Even a few embedded thunderstorms, moderate to heavy rain through the overnight hours. Here's 5 a.m. Heaviest rain's gone by Saturday morning, but all morning long, we stick around with these light, kind of dreary showers, and then these will start to push out by the time we head into Saturday evening. Here's your day planner. 40 to start, 49 by noon. We should make it up to about 53, dropping back to 50 as we go into the evening hours. A few showers this evening, but look how the rain chances spike as we get into tomorrow night and then also into Saturday morning. How much rain are we going to get? North of I-44, quarter to a half an inch. Along and south of I-44, a half an inch. Upwards to an inch in spots. 53 tomorrow, 53 Saturday. Sunday, cooler, partly sunny. Thunderstorms on Tuesday, and then check this out, drastically colder for the second half of next week. Second half hour, we're going to talk about these thunderstorms that could be strong or severe on Tuesday.
So this sun, it's quite hot, huh?
Yeah, I mean, and it's really bright too,
Okay.
but we just haven't seen it in quite some time.
I know, we haven't. All right, Doug Kenny, we'll see you in a bit. Thank you so much. Security concerns have several state governors banning TikTok on government devices. Fox Business Network's Edward Lawrence explains more.
Federal government seems to be really slow to act, but there's no question that there are real threats.
TikTok continues to face mounting pressure from states over security and privacy concerns. This week, Texas joined Maryland, South Dakota, Nebraska, and South Carolina in banning the app on state-owned devices. Republican governors say TikTok poses a security risk. The app is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company, which critics claim is controlled by China's ruling Communist Party.
All of these things are in the hands of a government that doesn't share our values and that has a mission that's very much at odds with what's in the best interest of the United States. That should concern us.
ByteDance is currently being investigated by the Committee on Foreign Investment, but it's unclear when the review will be done. This has led some governors to take matters into their own hands with a ban.
just one or two state employees that were, using TikTok on their state devices could have, compromised a lot of very important information.
Indiana taking it one step further and filing a lawsuit alleging the app misleads users, particularly kids, about the level of inappropriate content. A second lawsuit also alleges user data is not being protected. Now, despite national security concerns, many say states have no place banning its use.
I feel like these things are better left to the federal government. I feel like a lot of Republican governors are trying to flex their muscles a lot these days.
The White House has declined comment on national security concerns and the CFIUS review. At the White House, Edward Lawrence, Fox Business.
Coming up, coming home.
WNBA star Brittany Griner has been released from custody after months overseas. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. What we know about the prisoner swap with Russia.
We're taking your calls right now to help combat hunger right here in the 4 states. Get out your credit or debit card and make a monetary donation to feed the 4 states. The number, see it right there, is 1-888-620-4869. 100% of the donations go to buy the food for local food pantries. You can also make a monetary donation online at koamnewsnow.com/feed. Now we have a few people we want to give special thank yous to. Bertie Tilburg of Joplin gave a $100 donation. We thank you, Bertie. An anonymous person from Joplin, $100. Thank you as well. Elmer and Mary Thorns of Carthage, Missouri, the Maple Leaf City, $50 donation. Thank you as well. And Justin Garvin of the Car City of Webb City, Missouri, giving a $100 donation. We thank all of you. And you can still call in, too, if you haven't donated so far. Basketball star Brittany Griner has been released from a Russian prison. President Biden made the announcement along with Griner's family at the White House earlier today as they waited for her to land back here in the U.S. As Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard reports from D.C., though, there are still Americans stuck overseas.
After 9 months, basketball star Brittany Griner is free, while a convicted Russian arms dealer has been let go.
Will Brittany be back in the U.S.?
Next 24 hours.
The swap happening at an Abu Dhabi airport. Brittany Griner's release in exchange for convicted arms dealer Victor Boot, nicknamed the Merchant of Death, who was serving a 25-year sentence. Some on Capitol Hill critical of the move, calling it a gift to Vladimir Putin.
They're going to keep taking Americans hostage around the world as long as they get big trades like this.
Griner was arrested in Moscow in February for carrying vape cartridges with cannabis oil. She faced a 9-year sentence and had been transferred to a remote prisoner colony, raising concerns about her condition. Her wife, Sherelle, expressing relief.
Today is just a happy day for me and my family.
Not released, Americans Paul Whelan and Mark Fogel. Fogel has been in Russian custody since 2021, Whelan for nearly 4 years.
I think it's become clear that the U.S. doesn't have any concessions that the Russian government wants for Paul.
The president says Russia is treating Whelan's case differently, and they are still working to bring him and other Americans home.
At this time, we were not able to make that happen, but that does not stop us. Our choices was Brittany or no one at all.
The president said Griner will be offered special medical help and counseling. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Up next, going to learn how the bourbon company Jim Beam is trying to help people chase away those holiday blues. Now, some people may try to chase those holiday blues away with bourbon, especially if they're alone, but Jim Beam, okay, they have another solution for those lonely nights. A Kentucky hug in the form of pajamas. Bourbon lovers may know that a Kentucky hug is the warm feeling after taking your first sip of bourbon. Did you know that, Doug?
No.
I had a Kentucky hug. Okay. Well, Doug likes bourbon responsibly. So I didn't get it responsibly. So, okay. These special PJs are meant to mimic that. Okay. They have a removable panel around the neck and shoulders that, when activated, simulates a real life hug. The limited edition PJs are $25. But here's the thing. I don't know if my producer found this out on his own, but apparently they're already sold out on Jim Beam's website. So, Peyton, did you find this out and you're trying to say that you need more hugs? It was just in the script. Okay, well, nonetheless, I'll try to hug you more in the future, Peyton. I appreciate it. All right, 31 minutes news, weather, and sports. He says, yeah, okay, thank you. 31 minutes news, weather, and sports coming away. Going to learn how the Wesley House is partnering with Feed the 4 States to combat hunger in the area. Plus, going to learn about a program making sure underserved kids and seniors in the area have gifts and necessary supplies. Still plenty of time to participate in our Feed the Four States campaign. The phone bank is set up right now in our studio. See it right there, where we are ready to take your phone calls. You just phone in a monetary pledge of any amount. Any amount is important. And 100% of that money is going to be divided among local food pantries to help people in need this Christmas season. That number is 1-888-620-4869. And a special thank you to Linda Dishman of Joplin, Missouri for her $50 donation. Linda and Darren, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Well, a lot of four-staters rely on food banks, and this time of year, budgets can be tight. One of the area food pantries partnering with Feed the Four States is the Wesley House in Pittsburgh. The Wesley House is the largest food pantry in Crawford County, serving more than 5,000 residents. KOAM's Amber Jenkins explains.
The Wesley House in Pittsburgh is the largest food pantry in Crawford County, serving more than 5,000 residents.
We see a lot of our individuals and families every single month that come through, and they're coming often with, with other members of their families, with other neighbors as well. And this is definitely a big part of what keeps their shelves and fridges stocked from one day to the next.
The holidays is one of the most popular times for donations and volunteering.
This is always a time we usually see more engagement across our food pantry services because folks are hosting more, or they're thinking of those that are in need as well.
The Wesley House is thankful for the increased donations this holiday season. Last year, donations decreased.
Data from last year, we actually didn't have quite as much engagement, maybe because of stimulus checks, and then if we take into the account of inflation and the cost of food, we have had more people enrolling in our food pantry services every day. And in addition to that, we also have not been able to order as much from the Kansas Food Bank as we usually would.
Providing food for a fellow neighbor in need can go a long way.
For someone to be able to succeed, for them to be able to think beyond those basic needs, we have to meet those basic needs. And so having food on the table and being able to cook your own food and essentially, food pantries kind of provide a sort of grocery, aside experience.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
You have the chance to make a direct impact on fighting hunger right here in the four states. The number is 1-888-620-4869. 100% of the donations go to buy the food for local food pantries. You can also make a monetary donation online at koamnewsnow.com/feed. Miami, Oklahoma residents today had a chance to voice their concerns about flooding issues in the city. The LED agency, a Miami-based nonprofit, hosted a survey today about the regular flooding problems. This is in response to the GRDA's request to raise lake levels by 2 feet, which the LED agency says is going to be causing more flooding.
If the lake is risen 2 feet, then it will back up quicker and flood this community and other areas outside this community, way down even to Wyandotte, Oklahoma. It will flood these communities quicker and more devastation.
The LED, or I should say LEAD agency, plans to report the survey's findings to the GRDA. Carl Junction Junior High today hosted a career day, provided a chance for kids and others to plan their futures and talk to area businesses in the fields that interest them. Some underserved local children and seniors are going to be getting gifts and supplies this year. CFI Trucking partnered with the 15th Street Walmart in Joplin for a $15,000 shopping spree. Walmart associates spent the money gathered from donations based on wish lists from recipients. KOAM photojournalist Friends Wallace went along for the ride.
It does not have a tag. Yeah, it's got a tag on here. Oh, okay.
We take time out of our schedules to come out here and shop for those who may need a little bit of support or help. And this is just a way for us to be able to give back to our local community.
It makes me feel fulfilled, you know what I mean? Like every day, usually we're just thinking about ourselves, our daily life, but when we have a chance to think about others and the needs they may have, it's nice to be able to help them fulfill those needs.
Awesome.
First start here.
I don't even work here anymore. I'm joyful that they let me still come. I'm still part of the CFI family.
Recipients were recommended through the Joplin Salvation Army. A bit later, protecting same-sex marriage.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers come together to pass a landmark bill to protect same-sex marriage. I'm Malta Rivera in Washington with the details coming up.
Well, of course, it's dreary outside. We haven't seen the sun in several days. We had the rain last night into the morning hours, a little bit of a break, and then more showers have been rolling through over the past couple hours. And of course, phone lines are still open. Fox 14, Feed the 4 states, help local families that are in need as we go through the holiday season. All right, nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. The roads are wet. We do have some scattered showers, so watch out for that. Temperatures right now, most of us, it's not that bad. We're sitting mid to upper 50s. We just continue to have the dreariness. You can see the sheen on the roadway. So it is a little bit wet through the metro. 56. Westerly winds are light. Humidity is at 93%. We've had a few light little showers pop up, mainly on the Missouri side. And these are going to quickly roll out of here. They're very small, really, from Stockton Lake. We got a little bit of a line just to the east of Carthage, down toward Neosho. And then again, once you get a little bit farther toward the east, near Monette. Not a big deal. These are going to zoom right on by. In fact, this whole storm system is going to work out of here and we're going to clear out later on tonight. Next system building, this system will start to affect us tomorrow night. And then if we go a little bit farther west, look at this. They're just kind of stacking up. Another one here, another one here. So we have a pretty active pattern as we go through about the next 10 to 15 days. All right, clearing out tonight. Patchy fog, watch out for that, near 40. We get morning sun, but here come the clouds again by the noon hour. Mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon. Lower 50s for highs, about 50 in Carthage, 53 in Welch Grove, at about 57. Yates Center a little bit cooler at about 49. Here comes the rain tomorrow night. So here's midnight. It'll start getting wet on the Kansas and Oklahoma side, mainly after 10 p.m. Showers, maybe a random thunder shower where you see the yellows and orange. That is moderate, even sometimes heavy amounts of rain. Heaviest rain until Saturday morning, and then through the morning hours, just kind of hit and miss light showers, but we will start to dry out once we get into Saturday evening. All right, day planner, 40 to start, 49 by noon. We back to 50, high 53, clouds increasing. And look how our rain chances spike. So here's 9 p.m., midnight, 3 a.m., 6 a.m. on Saturday. Amounts decent because we need the rain. Lesser amounts, northern counties, quarter to a half an inch. Really from Joplin south, half an inch, upwards to an inch of rain, which we definitely need. Sunday looks good. Monday, a few showers start to roll in late, but then thunderstorms Monday night, thunderstorms into Tuesday afternoon. Some of those could be strong to possibly severe, so we need to watch that over the next few days. 53 tomorrow, 53 Saturday, cooler, but some sunshine on Sunday. 62 Monday, 62 on Tuesday with those thunderstorms. Drastically colder by midweek. Jordan?
Doug, thanks so much. You know, it's been a real struggle for many four-staters to put food on the table, bare necessities, particularly within the past few years because of inflation. Well, you can make a difference by donating to our Feed the 4 States campaign. Just call 1-888-620-4869. Every amount of money helps. You can also make a monetary donation online on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/feed. One last wave, guys. We encourage you to call if you haven't. A special thank you to an anonymous person, $250 donation. We so much appreciate that generosity, but we also want to say again, every amount of donation helps. So please, we appreciate it. Coming up in sports, Missouri Southern women aim to stay undefeated tonight on the road against Central Oklahoma. Plus, the Joplin girls kicking off the Lady Eagle Classic against Leavenworth. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
The Missouri Southern Lions are on the road tonight for a conference doubleheader against Central Oklahoma. On the women's side, the Lions are a perfect 9-0 to begin the season and have climbed the national rankings up to number 4 this week. Southern hoping to stay rolling tonight against UCO, and that's what they did, winning 72-61. The Lions had 4 players in double figures, led by Lacey Stokes, who scored 27 to go along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. On the men's side, tough one for the Lions tonight, facing the undefeated 6th-ranked Broncos. Southern enters the night right at 500 at 4-4. And check this out, the Lions knock off UCO 56-50. Winston Dessaso scores a team-high 14 points. Nongo Na gets double-double with 11 points and 11 boards. Moving to Carthage now. Tigers host the Carthage Invitational this week, opening things up tonight against Fort Smith Southside. Picking it up in the second, Max Templeman finds Justin Ray. Easy bucket there. 13 points for Ray tonight. Tigers up 26-18 at the half. Later, great pass from Clay Kinder. Trent Yates finishes off the glass. Then Templeman spins through traffic, gets the bucket for 2. Carthage pushes their lead to 10. Still in the third, Kinder takes the pass, knocks down the 3. He adds 10 tonight. Back to Templeman, though, once more. He leads the Tigers tonight with 18 points. Carthage holds on to beat Southside 45-37. Well, today is the opening day of the 26th annual Lady Eagle Classic at Joplin High School. The tournament host Eagles open things up today, hosting Leavenworth in the first round. A good crowd today, with the whole school being dismissed to come support the Eagles this afternoon. We'll pick it up in the first. Bryn Driver drives to the basket and scores. Then Bailey Ledford gets the steal for Joplin, makes the layup on the other end. Game tied at 7 after the first. Then the Eagles really started rolling. Driver knocks down the 3. She finishes with 10 points. Joplin up at the break. And on the third, Eagles hit a few more from distance. First, it's Riley Kelly from the top of the key. Then Ledford sinks the triple to extend the lead to 13 for Joplin. Ledford gets a team-high 17 points tonight. Joplin closes this one out, beating Leavenworth 45-39. Well, today's a big day for a pair of Girard High School student athletes. Girard has 2 seniors signed today to continue their careers at the college level. And both of them are going to be staying in Kansas. Eleanor Reek is headed to Chanute to play softball at Neosho County. And Sarah Goebel signs today to continue her volleyball career at Fort Scott Community College.
I want to go to Fort Scott because they have a great atmosphere and a great family community, and they open their doors to me, and they are so nice and kind and loving people. They love their girls, they believe in their girls, and they work hard for their girls.
They just had a really amazing program, and when I went and visited, their facilities were amazing, and the coach and the girls that I met with were really kind and just made me feel very comfortable around them. I was like, oh, it's only 45 minutes from the house. I could make it home over the weekend and see my parents or my younger brother if I wanted to. They can come watch me play, and that's nice because my parents, and I always say my mom's my biggest cheerleader.
Now that's a look at sports, but before we go, we do want to give a shout out for a donation to our Feed the Four States campaign here on Fox 14. Susan Washington from Wyandotte, Oklahoma. Nice donation this evening of $500. We certainly appreciate that. We're back after this.
Keystone Pipeline System has been shut down. This after a leak was discovered in the Kansas-Nebraska state line. The pipeline is a 2,700-mile system that delivers Canadian and U.S. oil to major refineries across America. Canada's TC Energy announced it launched an emergency shutdown of the pipeline last night after alarms triggered and pressure dropped in the system. TC Energy said in a statement there has been a, quote, confirmed release of oil into a creek south of Silsbee, Nebraska, and that they're working to contain and prevent the leak from further spreading. General Motors plans to put thousands of electric vehicle chargers in rural America. You plan to install up to 40,000 chargers. Comes amid a GM's plans to sell exclusively zero-emission passenger vehicles by 2035. These won't be so-called level 3 fast chargers, the ones that are the fastest, the ones that can charge an EV to 80% of its battery capacity in half an hour or so. Instead, GM is going to be putting in slower, level 2 chargers, which are still relatively powerful. In one of our last acts in leadership, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi oversaw today's House vote on the Respect for Marriage Act. The bill, passing the Chamber 258 to 169, protects same-sex marriages after the 2015 Supreme Court decision requiring all states to grant same-sex marriages and recognize same-sex marriages granted in other states. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera reporting from D.C.
The motion is adopted.
A landmark victory in the decades-long fight for nationwide recognition of same-sex and interracial marriages. The House on Thursday passing the Respect for Marriage Act, ensuring all states acknowledge every marriage is legal, regardless of sex, race, ethnicity, or national origin.
Today's vote is a monumental win in the fight for LGBTQ plus equality.
39 Republicans crossed the aisle to back the bipartisan legislation, protecting hundreds of thousands of couples who tie the knot after the Supreme Court's 2015 decision legalizing same-sex unions nationwide. The vote comes after the Senate passed the bill with support from 12 Republicans.
It's a bill that truly will make a difference to the lives of so many.
Still, a majority of GOP lawmakers were not on board, some citing the impact on religious rights.
This is yet another step toward the Democrats' goal of dismantling the traditional family, silencing voices of faith, and permanently undoing our country's God-woven foundation.
Supporters of the bill have been trying to codify marriage rights since the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision in July, which overturned federal abortion rights and also included an opinion from Justice Clarence Thomas suggesting same-sex marriage should be reconsidered, a fear some Republicans say Democrats have overblown.
Democrats have conjured up this non-existent threat, and they are misunderstanding or deliberately misrepresenting what Justice Thomas wrote.
The bill's next stop, President Biden's desk, where he's expected to promptly sign it into law. In Washington, Martha Rivera, Fox News.
Coming up, going to check out some of the newest movie and TV releases this week. Olivia Colman's latest drama is on the big screen, and Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio brings a musical adventure to streaming. Those and more are part of this week's new releases. Here's Fox's Ashita Vorkin.
Look around you.
Empire of Light is on the big screen, led by Oscar winner Olivia Colman. The drama is about a cinema manager in an English coastal town in the early 80s, struggling with her mental health, and the new employee who longs to escape their town, both finding a belonging through their connection. Starting in theaters is The Whale, starring Brendan Fraser as a reclusive teacher suffering from severe obesity, attempting to reconnect with his estranged daughter.
Childhood obsessions. Christmas.
Expanding to theaters nationwide, spoiler alert with Jim Parsons is about a couple who fall in love, then find their relationship transformed when one of them falls ill. From theaters to streaming, Emancipation is on Apple TV Plus, with Will Smith as Peter, who escapes from slavery on a harrowing journey through the swamps of Louisiana on his quest for freedom. Hello! Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio premieres on Netflix, a darker stop-motion animated musical retelling of the tale about the little wooden puppet brought to life. What? It's a Wonderful Binge on Hulu is about best friends who move their annual binge day to Christmas Eve, during which one plans to propose while another deals with family relationships.
That is the one.
And Something from Tiffany's on Prime Video brings a New York City set rom-com with a switched gift box which could end up changing the lives of two couples during the holidays.
He got my ring, I got his present.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with video of animals at a Greek zoo. Safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.